You're listening to Built Like That, the podcast for bold baddies who take up space, love themselves loud, and rewrite the rules. I'm Jazz, your big sis in the mic, reminding you that you weren't made to shrink. You were built like that. It's Jazz, your big sis in the mic. I'd like to take the time to say thank you to each of you that took the time to tune into episode 1 of the Built Like That podcast. I shared my story of dating and opened myself up to vulnerability, and I think it resonated with many of you. This week, we're going to talk about that light, because guess what, little sis? They're going to have to get some sunglasses because we're no longer dimming it. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about the shrink effect. You know, how a woman is supposed to be seen and not heard. Well, imagine being a woman with a huge personality and a bigger body to match it. The expectations is that you laugh a little quieter. You make sure to wear those colors that slimming, black in the heat of the summer. Or avoiding colors, especially sparkles or polka dots, not to mention stripes. And feeling just like you're too much, even when you're just being yourself. If I'm being honest, shrinking just never felt natural to me. I was raised by a big baddie. My mama was all curves, no breaks, who made sure that I knew my worth from the beginning. I grew up with confidence, financial security, and a whole lot of love. I wasn't lacking at all. I was very fortunate. But even with all of that, I still had to face the world's idea of what big girls should be. And that was a very unfortunate reality. I remember being in the first grade, like yesterday, taller and thicker than the other kids. And would you believe, at the tender age of 6, my teacher would call me a big old girl. At that age, I didn't have the words for it, but it made me feel so exposed. Like I was taking up more space than I was allowed to have. That was my first lesson. That even if you love yourself, the world might try to make you feel like you shouldn't. Like you're just not good enough. On top of being the bigger girl, I was also very fortunate financially. I grew up with financial security, and the confidence came easy in my house. But the outside world didn't always know what to do with a girl like me. That moment in first grade stuck with me. Not because I didn't love myself, but because it was the first time I realized that other people might see my body before they see me. They never really gave my personality a chance because I was just the fat kid. That theme would come up again and again. It never went away. People would assume things about me because of my size, labeling me as too much, talking too much, doing too much, wanting to be too much, before I even said a word. And even though I was taught how to hold my head up high, I still had to learn how to protect my peace, how to speak up for myself, and remind the world that I didn't need to shrink to make them feel comfortable. But again, as a child, that didn't come naturally. Now, by the time I hit my teen years, the pressure to shrink wasn't just about size. It became about presence. I noticed that some of the black women who I thought would pour into me expected me to play small. Like when they saw me, they didn't see me. They wanted me quiet, agreeable, not taking up too much space, and definitely, like I said, not making noise. And I get it now. Maybe they were just projecting what the world had forced onto them. But back then, it made me feel boxed in. So guess what I did naturally? I pushed back. I became combative, not because I was angry, but because I was desperate to be heard. to be seen on my own terms and for who I was. To this day, I'm still working through it. I've become extremely selective about who I allow in my space. Like, I am big on protecting my peace. I will eliminate you from my life if I feel like you don't fit into what I've created for me. If you aren't worthy or respectful of who I am, what I stand for, and how I represent myself. I'm not playing small. I'm not shrinking. I'm not adjusting. I'm not following what society has put in place for girls and women that look like me. Because protecting my peace is a non-negotiable. And learning that wasn't easy, but it was necessary. College was a beautiful chapter for me. It wasn't hard. It was healing. I met women who looked like me, carried themselves like me, and just understood me. My professors didn't just teach me. They nurtured me. They affirmed me. They poured into me like I mattered because I did. They actually got to know me. And they saw every bit of me and they loved it. And I loved it back. Southern University became my place of confirmation and validation. I'll forever be grateful for that campus, those people, and that energy. My mom passed away just 2 weeks before I graduated from high school. And despite having my grandma and my aunts who are very active in my life still to date, I had to learn how to face life without my mom at that time when I needed her the most, which was womanhood. But Southern filled the gaps. They truly did, and they held me up. I'm 34 and a half now, and I'm still learning how to process that loss. But I know for sure that my confidence has never left me. And yes, it still vexes some people, but I've learned that's not my burden to carry. So I keep my head high and my integrity intact because my mama raised me right. And even in her absence, her lessons are alive in me, and I am pouring them and pumping them right back in to my 3 daughters, every female student that walks in my classroom, and every young girl who has shared life with me. I know when to check myself. I know how to grow. And most of all, I'm fully equipped to be the best version of me. Looking back, I can see how every experience, good, hard, or heartbreaking, was shaping me, building me. I used to wonder why I had to go through certain things, but now I realize it was never just about me. It was so I could speak to you. Every lesson, every lonely moment, every time I chose confidence when it would have been easier to shrink, it was preparing me to stand in this space, to build this platform, and to remind other women, you were never meant to play small. Built Like That isn't just a podcast. It's a safe place for every baddie who's still healing, still growing, still standing tall in rooms that were never built with her in mind. This is for us because we are the blueprint. We were always built like